I know you gonna dig this.
Get funky with me.
Sunshine, blue skies, please go away. A girl has found another and gone away. I know to you it might sound strange, but I wish it would rain. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Cause so badly I wanna go outside. But everyone knows that a man ain't supposed to cry. Listen, I gotta cry, cause crying eases the pain, oh yeah.
How's everybody doing today? So here I am at Woodlawn Cemetery in the great city of Detroit. I love Detroit and I love this cemetery. I've been here many times. I made quite a few videos from here. One of the ones I made that was very popular was Legends of Motown. There's so many Motown stars that are buried here. However, when I did that video, I left out David Ruffin from The Temptations, and he was on my list. It's just sometimes when there's so many people here that I want to pay my respect to, and I kicked myself when I got back and I said, well, damn, how did I forget David Ruffin? But I'm back for David Ruffin. And if you don't know David Ruffin, like I said, he was the lead singer of Temptations. My Girl, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. I mean, this guy had it all: charisma, he got the look, he had the sound, he had the voice, that sweet soul gravelly voice. And his grave is right here beside me, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about him, more about him. He had a troubled life near the end, sad ending for David Ruffin. And but you know, he's a complicated man. He had a complicated guy, but that voice and that talent, undeniable from a young age. So if you look on Find a Grave, they're going to direct you to the middle of section 3. He's more near the road when you come in. Come past the main building, right past it, go all the way to your right. You're going to look for a water spout, and I'll show you that water spout. And David Ruffin's right in front of it. So they're a little off there, but they're usually correct. And yeah, let's get some nice decorations up. And there's a huge flood here yesterday, so I came here yesterday to do it. And the cemetery had to close because the roads were completely flooded. And I didn't think I was going to be able to make it back out here this morning because I thought they were going to be closed again. But thankfully they're open. And they're very helpful in telling me where David Ruffin exactly was because I was having a little trouble. Here he is. Here's David Ruffin here. Beloved father and grandfather, David E. Ruffin. January 18th, 1941, June 1st, 1991. One of the world's greatest entertainers. His lyrics and singing touched the hearts of man. Memories cherished by Cheryl, Nedra, Kimberly, David Jr., and grandchildren. We love you. In God's care. And there's that water spout I was telling you about. David Ruffin was born Davis Eli Ruffin on January 18, 1941 in Wynot, Mississippi. His mother died during childbirth and he was raised by his father, a Baptist minister. At age 13, he left home to become a minister, but soon found himself singing in Memphis talent shows instead. He began writing shows as a teenager, moved from talent shows into a true singing career, along with his brother Jimmy, with the Dixie Nightingales, a local gospel group. Ruffin toured with the Womack Brothers, the Staples Singers, the Dixie Hummingbirds, and on stage he developed into a real showman, his act drawing attention from both gospel crowds and secular music professionals. At the age of 17, David was briefly signed to Chicago's Chess Records before moving to Detroit, where he met Berry Gordy, who's the founder of Motown Records. He recorded an album with the Voice Masters and signed with a Motown subsidiary, but the music just didn't catch on yet. Ruffin's big break would come in 1963 when he was chosen to replace Eldridge Bryant as tenor vocalist in The Temptations. In the background for the first year and a half, in 1965, Ruffin took the vocal lead on hits such as My Girl, I Wish It Would Rain, and Ain't Too Proud to Beg, and the band then took off, appearing on American Bandstand, Ed Sullivan's Show, and becoming stars on the international music scene. His brother Jimmy also signed with Motown Records and had a breakout song with What Becomes of the Broken Hearted. As the group's new frontman, David began to get the lion's share of media attention, but his erratic behavior, usually attributed to cocaine use, also began to draw attention. When he demanded certain privileges not afforded the other members of the group and wanted the group's name changed to be David Ruffin and the Temptations, as had been done with Diana Ross and the Supremes, he was officially deemed out of control and the band fired him in June 1968. David was still under contract with Motown Records when he left the Temptations, and he embarked on a solo career, finding some success with My Whole World Ended, The Moment You Left Me, in 1969. But success was fleeting, and David dropped out of the music business for 3 years, emerging in 1975 with a top 10 single, Walk Away From Love, and a few minor hits. In 1979, he joined Warner Brothers after leaving Motown, but instead of a new beginning, it marked the beginning of the end for David Ruffin. The early 1980s saw David briefly jailed for tax evasion, but it also saw him join the Temptations' 1983 reunion tour. David missed the first 3 shows of the tour, however, as his old partying ways had returned with a vengeance. Despite this, the tour led to an appearance with the Temptations' Eddie Kendricks at a prestigious concert at New York's Apollo Theater with longtime fans Hall & Oates. Ruffin and Kendricks also joined Hall & Oates at the Live Aid concert in Philadelphia. In 1989, Ruffin was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with 5 other Temptations. But sadly, just 2 years later, David Ruffin, at 50 years of age, would collapse in a Philadelphia crack house. Hours later, he was dropped off in front of a hospital where he died of a drug overdose. Now, although the cause of death was ruled an accident, David Ruffin's family and friends suspected foul play. And in the Temptations television miniseries, it was David Ruffin's beaten body being depicted as being dumped in the street in front of a hospital where he dies, and that his body remained unclaimed in the morgue for a week after his death. As a result, David Ruffin's estate filed suit against NBC claiming defamation. However, they lost the lawsuit, and the ruling against it was upheld on appeal. Here's a clip of the Temptations performing at David Ruffin's funeral.
Hey, 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 I'm gonna sing it for you, David. Oh, my. Hey, hey, hey. All I'm gonna do is talk about you, David, David. Hey, 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 hey. I don't need no money, my brother. Fortune of fame. Oh, no, David. I've got all the riches. I know you know what I'm talking about. That one skinny man can claim. Oh, yeah, baby.
In this section, section 3, Levi Stubbs here, the Wainings family, the Gospel family. Who else? There's a cenotaph for Michael Jackson. They're building a new mausoleum right over there, if you can see. And see, I'm forgetting already. It's been a couple of years since I've been to the cemetery. But yeah, lots of people. Lots of famous car manufacturers as well. I'll put a link below to some of those videos where I visited other folks here. And I really wanted to visit David Ruffin. And now I'm glad I finally did. And for his fans that can't make it out here, I'm glad I'm able to do that for you. One thing I didn't know about David Ruffin was did a cover of I Want You Back, which was made famous by the Jackson 5. I highly suggest you check that out. I had no clue this song existed. I'd only heard the Jackson 5 ever do it. I'm a huge Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson fan. But you hear it from a man's perspective, from somebody much older. You used to hear Michael Jackson's voice sing as a kid. I guess I'm not sure how old Michael Jackson was when he did I Want You Back. But he has that, he's a little kid voice. So it sounds like more like puppy love and a crush. But when David Ruffin sings it as a man, older, grizzled, more I don't know how to explain it. He's just, well, I'm not explaining it. It just gives a different perspective on the song, and it's just a great version. Has the same bass line and everything. It sounds, sounds like I Want You Back. But just from the way he's singing it, just you think about it in a different way. An incredible version. He had a few solo albums. But, yeah, it was a sad ending for David Ruffin. All right, so that was my visit to David Ruffin. So he's right there. If you come out, you look for that tree. Well, there's a lot of trees, but like I said, the water spout right here is directly in front of it. David Ruffin, I hope you're resting peacefully. I'm a huge fan now, like huge. Like I've been listening to his stuff non-stop. That usually happens with me when I visit graves that I know the person, but then I research a lot of their lives.